Hello everyone, Sean here once again. It is February 15th, 2022, and it seems as if we might have a little bit of controversy within the New York Times Wordle changeover. So, for the people who have already played this game on the in the more the Eastern Hemisphere, might have had a different answer than we did those of us who played the game a little later in the day, or are in the Western Hemisphere and our day started a little later, actually got a different word today. So, warning, there will be spoilers. I'm going to talk about the words that we had today. So if you have not played this game yet and you would like to, please pause the video and go to nytimes.com/games/wordle. But moving on, we are going to talk about the words. So if you have not done the video yet and you want to play this puzzle yourself, we are going to be spoiling the word that today is. So, fair warning. Yes, so the people who have played this puzzle early got the word agora, which actually comes from the ancient Greek, was a outdoor market. Agora persists in our language, actually persists more in the Latin languages. Afora, afuera, agora, fora exist to mean outdoors, and the most common use in English language is in agoraphobia, meaning a fear of the outdoors. New York Times actually changed that. They said that they thought it was too difficult, too obscure of a word, and so went through and purged the dictionary of some of those more difficult words. We actually have a small little list here, as well as purging the dictionary of more lewd words. So agora was actually purged from the dictionary, as well as fiber, the British spelling of fiber, pupil, which means student, because it was too close to the spelling of pupil as in the part of the eye, and a couple of more controversial words here with slave and wench. You can actually go, it's important to note that Wordle actually has two dictionaries. One is the list of words that you can test, and one is the list of words that can be the possible answers. So for example, the word that I use every day, aegis, is a valid word as a guess, but it will actually never be the answer. So it's not likely that I'm ever going to get a 1 unless the wheel gets me really lucky one day. So we can come back here and test these out here. Fiber, not on the word list. Pupil, not on the word list. Wench and slave will not appear in the word list. You cannot even guess them. Not sure how I feel about this. I definitely appreciate that the New York Times wants to remove these difficult words and have words that at least most people have heard of. I know we do get a lot of people playing this game that, let me take a minute here and do agora and show you that's not even as a guess. You cannot even guess it anymore. Yeah. I know there's a lot of people who played this game that English is not necessarily their first language. There's also just a lot of words like agora that we just don't use anymore. And so just even being your primary language wouldn't know some of these words. I don't know how I feel, however, about removing them from the guesses. I feel like some of the words that they've removed might be very useful as future guesses, and if you happen to know those words and want to use those words, I feel like you should be able to. As far as playing a lewd version of Wordle, if you want to use those as guesses, that's cool. Again, I'm not sure exactly why removing those from the potential guess list versus the answers list. I can definitely see where the New York Times would want to avoid making some of those more controversial words as the answer for the day. But I think at least allowing somebody to guess those words and use that structure, if one of those words happens to be exactly the structure that you need to guess what you want to progress your puzzle, I think that should be allowed. So my personal opinion, I don't necessarily agree with that. I wish they had left those words in, at least for the guess dictionary, which is about twice the size of the actual answers dictionary. That's the same dictionary that has the plurals. So, for example, you can have pairs, but there will never be pairs as the actual answer to the puzzle. This is causing a lot of controversy. There's a lot of people, even in the same household, somebody say wakes up a little earlier than someone else and did the puzzle early. Someone later in the household goes to do it, and I guess the biggest controversy here is that we're just not sharing, or if you're competing with somebody else, or you have your streak, and you want to be tested apples to apples against someone else. This is the first time that we're not directly comparing progress on a particular word. So some people got a much more difficult word and their streak was broken compared to someone who that might have given me a little more difficulty. Probably not, because I have the G in Aegis. Might have gotten there a little earlier, but Aroma did give me a little bit of trouble today. It was a sort of strange structure that I had to go back and remember to get those doubles. So I feel like it's just not necessarily fair to have someone be able to compare, especially with those streaks, to say, hey, someone went through a more difficult puzzle and broke their streak, whereas someone went through a slightly easier one with a more familiar word and continued their streak. I personally don't really care about my streak. I guess I can't show you that because I've pulled open a private browser so I could show you this. Otherwise, I can't continue to guess stuff and type stuff in within the regular one because I've already finished the puzzle for today. But it just seems a bit. I don't disagree with the intentions of the New York Times. I disagree a little bit with the method here. I feel like if you have something going into that, I can't blame the New York Times for not combing through every little word and making sure that it was perfect, coming over from something that one person had programmed previously. But changing it in the middle of the day does change a little bit of what we have. I think a lot of what we've built, at least on our channel, and a lot of the other, I know there's a few other YouTube channels, there's a lot of people posting on social media, on Twitter, on Facebook. Part of that is that you share how you did on the same challenge throughout the day. And by removing that and not really mentioning that, I think this was discovered because someone wrote an email into the Times and they confirmed that they had changed it. I feel like a little more transparency would go a long way. I feel like this is a community that's been based around having this game, and there's been a lot of communication so far. There's been a lot of open dialogue about the game, and for the fundamental game to change in the middle of the day out from under people without any notice, without any little blurb off to the side saying, hey, there's some information about this. Just sort of stealth changing it behind the scenes without really letting anybody know, I think is just a little bit shady. I would appreciate a little more transparency from the New York Times moving forward. My personal opinion. Curious to know how you all feel about that. How many of you did go through the more difficult puzzle and had some troubles? How many of you broke your streak on this one? And how many of you ended up switching over to the new one, or that had time switch over to the new word before you played? Curious to see your opinions. Is this going to affect your playing? Is this going to affect if you continue to play with the New York Times? Or is this just a minor little hiccup as we continue to develop a game that's very, very early in its stages? I mean, this game is not very old. and moving over, shifting to a new owner of the and curator of the game. I'm not surprised that we've encountered a couple of hiccups along the way with the transfers of stats and scores, and then with the changing of this. Not surprised. I just wish it was handled a little better personally. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, if you like this video, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It really does help me out a lot. And share the normal Wordle videos with those who you think would enjoy daily word puzzles. That's all for now, and we will see you all very soon.